His mind raced with possibilities. How was this possible? How could Kedes have left this letter, and how had it survived until now? He continued reading. I know you're looking for me. I know you are trying to find your way back, and perhaps you already know that this is not the end. Remember, time is not just a straight line, it bends and returns to itself like us. Don't forget, we found each other once, we will find each other again. With love, Kedes. Johnny sat quietly, the paper in his hands. He hadn't lost Kedes. She had just been hidden in another time, and now he knew what he had to do. At the same time, he began to remember what had happened at the end by the boulder. Kedes had taken his hand, their fingers intertwined as if they would never let go. The great boulder behind them glowed strangely, as if it were a gateway, not just between worlds, but between times. Johnny had glanced one last time at the Komsa people, their faces filled with respect and confusion. Johnny stared blankly ahead in his empty room. So much had happened since everything began, and he remembered how it all started. It felt like it was just yesterday. He had been emailing with his colleagues about message encoding and artificial intelligence when he recalled how the Navajo language had been used in cryptography. Johnny had once known a Navajo woman named Kedes in New Mexico, so he decided to test a new and highly praised AI program to see how well it could translate Navajo. He sent it a small sample text and received a translation in Navajo. Then he decided to verify it with his own AI program and sent the Navajo text to be translated into English. It translated it perfectly, but the text was something entirely different. It had been sent by a Navajo woman, a woman named Kedes, and she had included her own picture in the message. Johnny, I hear you from the other side, where time is thin and every moment carries the weight of centuries. Thank you for not forgetting us who walked the path that was hidden across the world. It was a very puzzling letter at the time, but Johnny couldn't yet foresee where it would lead or all that he would learn on their shared journey. The letter was actually comforting to read, especially the part "Thank you for not forgetting us who walked the path that was hidden." It spoke of how love never disappears, and those who fell in love at the dawn of time still meet again in different eras and different forms. When the forms meet, they don't remember, but each knows it instantly. Hopeful, Johnny looked into the mirror again, where he had first seen Kedes. The mirror was empty. He only saw his own face. But then behind him, a figure slowly emerged. It was Kedes, in a white thin dress that was slightly torn at the side. Johnny's heart began to race, and it raced even faster when he saw in the mirror how Kedes' hand approached his shoulder. Then he felt it. His shoulder was touched. Kedes wasn't in the mirror, but behind him, in the same room. Johnny didn't dare move yet. His breathing was rapid, but his body felt frozen in that moment. Through the mirror, he saw Kedes smile, not just with joy, but with something deeper, a long-awaited certainty. And then very quietly, like a breath of wind, Kedes whispered, "Shilhoshu duniha nilhoshu." Beauty belongs to us, dear Johnny. Johnny closed his eyes for a moment and took a deep breath. When he opened them again, he slowly turned to face Kedes, and he was no longer sure if this moment was a dream or reality, but it didn't matter. Kedes was there. Wait, how did you appear here? I liked the picture you sent, but I didn't understand it. Kedes tells. Was I asleep or awake? It didn't matter. I was there. Johnny wasn't. The room around me was familiar, but in the wrong way, like a memory that had faded over time. It was dusty. The light refracted through a murky window pane, and the mirror through which I had come still stood in place, but its surface was empty. No reflection, no sign that another reality waited beyond it. But I was here. Where had I come from? I felt it dimly, like a memory I hadn't lived myself. A parallel reality, maybe? Or maybe this was the reality that had never come to be, because Johnny had once asked about the Navajo language, and in that moment, something had changed. Maybe in this world, he had never asked, and I had never answered. Yet I stood here, and then I heard a voice. Not Johnny's voice, but something else. A whisper, a summons. It came from somewhere deep in the room, maybe behind the door, maybe from within myself. Was this just an echo of the past, or was there someone else here? And if there was, would they recognize me? My heart, or whatever I had in place of a heart, beat faster. This moment wasn't over yet. Something thrilling was about to happen. The room was frozen in time. Dust floated in the air through beams of light as if tiny particles were searching for their own purpose. An old writing desk stood in the middle of the room, its surface covered in crumbling papers and a pen that hadn't moved in years. On the windowsill were dried leaves that crumbled at a touch, as if someone had once placed them there and forgotten. A map hung on the wall, not a precise, modern map, but an old yellowed parchment with hand-drawn markings. Someone had written Navajo words on it. They looked familiar yet foreign, as if written by someone else. Then came the sound. It wasn't loud, but it felt like more than just noise. It didn't just come from outside, it came from within me too, as if the place itself recognized me. The door creaked. It was ajar, not fully open, but enough for me to sense someone on the other side. I wasn't alone. Something in this room was waiting for me, or maybe it had always been here, waiting for the moment someone would step through from another reality. What would happen if I opened the door all the way? I opened the door. It creaked in protest, as if unwilling to let me pass. And then I saw it. On the other side of the room wasn't just a hallway. It wasn't just another room. It was something else. It resembled Johnny's study, but it wasn't quite the same. The walls were familiar, but the books were different. The desk was in the same place, but there was no computer. Just an old typewriter and a notebook filled with Navajo writing. And then I saw him. He stood by the window, his back to me. His hair was slightly longer than Johnny's, but the color was the same.